Hey people, what's up? I will be revealing to you deep esoteric truths as it relates to the total solar eclipse, which will take place on April 8, 2024. The physical eyes cannot see what is taking place behind this perfect alignment, but with the spiritual eye, or in other words, with the pineal gland or with the eye of truth, we can see what is taking place, because this eye of truth can see spiritual things which the physical eyes cannot see. So I'm going to show you something that I have written from 2014 in my book. And let me show you the book that I have. It is called The Inconceivable Truth, written by Dorian Brown, who is me. The truth cannot be hidden for long. And I turn to the chapter, Light and Darkness. I'm going to define what is light. And this definition of light was written by me, but it is not my words. It was telepathically communicated to me by a cosmic being, which is higher intelligence, or what we know in our mortal simplicity as God. I was instructed to write, bright is the fire that burns bright. Bright is the light that shines bright. Shine is the light that shines bright. Bright is the light that shines in darkness. Back in 2013, one rainy day, drunken by the spiritual force and felt highly elevated, I wrote down the spiritual meaning of light. While writing, an overwhelming, joyous, sweet, loving, vibratory feeling caused me to feel highly ecstatic and pleasurable. From there on, I was instructed to draw this diagram you see right here. And this diagram was drawn July 16, 2014, as you can see below. This happens while I was sitting beside my mother on her bed while she was watching the television. While she knew not, I began writing and drawing the things I was hearing and seeing inside my head. The deeper I penetrated into my mind, the more intensified and clearer the visions were. Above you can see a large circle with light rays or hair around its head. You can see this is the father, the lion, and I was instructed to annotate the diagram, which you can see the father, the lion. Below you can see a smaller circle, which is the son, the lamb. Below the sun, the lamb, you can see smaller circles which are connected to the inner sun, or the sun, which is the people, the body. So we will see how this all aligns, how we are connected to the sun and what will be taking place. So below you can see the physical sun and the moon. Yin and yang are half light and half darkness. So it was on a Wednesday, July 16, 2014. As I sat there beside my mother on her bed, inside the book, I drew and wrote down the information the inner voice was communicating. The depiction of this diagram is to illustrate that this world is half light and half darkness, shade. Over here you can see the physical moon. The physical sun is darkness. It is an illusionary light. When you gaze into the physical sun for a period of time, the sun looks smaller and smaller depending on how long you are able to gaze into it. When you stop looking into the sun and look around, everything looks dark. The light of the physical world is darkness, but the light of the spiritual world is light. There is an invisible sun, the inner voice whispered. I didn't know of an invisible sun. Doubting this to be true, I refused to write it down, but the compelling and truthful force of the energy I felt inside, I was commanded to write it down. Not wanting to overwhelm my mother's spirit with too much talk about knowledge, and that I was actually hearing God's voice, I refrained from telling her because I didn't want her to say that I was unwanting all the time. My unquenchable thirst and love for knowledge didn't make it tiresome for me at all. Like having an inner orgasm, receiving knowledge from a higher intelligent force within was the sweetest joy to me. There is an invisible sun which is darkness to the physical eyes, but to the spiritual eye it is light. This sun is not the sun of the physical world. It is the sun of the inner world, the voice whispered. The physical sun is darkness to the spiritual eye. The inner or spiritual sun is the light, but it is darkness to the physical eyes. The voice went on to whisper, the darkness of the spiritual world is not the darkness of this world. The darkness of the spiritual world is light, but the light of the physical world is darkness, shade. The light of the physical world reflects darkness, shade, but the light of the spiritual world reflects light. Here you can see this image, which is a depiction of me with the sun above my head. Like a quick flash of rapid vibratory vision, this is how I was seeing it while drawing and writing it down. Over here, the spirit like taking me down a rabbit hole, showing me how deeper and deeper this thing goes, revealed to me the inner sun and the physical sun. Therefore, the inner sun gives life and light to the physical sun, and the physical sun gives life and light to the physical world. So all the time we believe that all this light energy is coming from the physical sun, but there is something else within or behind the physical sun, giving it the light and power it has. And it goes deeper on to show that behind the inner sun, there is the source, which is the Father, the lion, sending spiritual energy to the inner sun. So it goes on to state that the source, the Father, gives light to the inner sun. S-U-N sun, S-O-N sun. So when we hear of the word, the Son of God, it's also talking about the S-U-N, Son of God. Because around enlightened beings, when the Kundalini energy or serpentine energy is activated from the root chakra and travels up the 33 vertebrae of the spinal column up to the pineal gland, it awakens the pineal gland, causing a halo or sun disk to appear around the head. And we can see the sun disk or halo around the head of saints depicting the sun. As I wrote down this information and flipped the page, instantly a bright flash of light blanked out the black and white circle of light. Like the blinking of an eye, I saw a whole new gigantic circle without a white or black portion. It was neither of the both. Here is the source, Lord of Lords, Kings of Kings. The source is the source of everything, the voice whispered. When the inner voice communicated this, I felt a sudden, deep awakening inside. My body made a quick jerk. My head felt like it was going to explode with complex and powerful vibrational energies. At the highest level, I felt myself twice before vibrating from the source. I realized that I come from the source. The source is the light of lights, no dark part or shade. the life and the light of everything, indescribable, self-sustained, infinite and eternal, all highest. The sun will burn this world by spiritual fire. Unification, or coming into alignment of the inner sun, S-U-N sun, and S-O-N sun, with this source, the Father, will allow the inner sun to receive massive amounts of spiritual powers to send to the physical sun and onto the earth. The inner sun must become one with the source, Father, to receive the highest vibrational frequency, thereby increasing the spiritual heat energy of the inner sun. So all of this is taking place behind the physical sun. The voice whispered, "Look for the end in the beginning and the beginning in the end." The inner sun is the reflection of the source, the Father. The outer or physical sun is the reflection of the inner sun. The moon is the reflection of the sun. The source, Most High, is sending spiritual fire, energy to the inner sun, and the inner sun is sending spiritual energy to the physical sun. We all have a light within us. The inner sun is within us. The inner sun inside of us is heating up the physical earth. The inner sun through the Most High, our source, will consume the earth with fire and open up the gate to the inner earth. So it goes to show that this alignment is a portal. It is an opening for higher vibrational energies and frequencies to activate us, to raise our consciousness. The inner sun doesn't know when the source is going to fully charge up and send its highest light energy to it. That is why in the Bible it is stated that not even the Son knows when the Father is going to come. Meaning that the inner sun doesn't know when the source is going to charge up and send its highest vibrational frequency to it. So this vibrational frequency is going to cause a lot of changes on the earth. It is going to change the way how we live and interact with each other. The sun even have the potential to cause an internet apocalypse, shut down electrical grids, shut down this entire system and causing us to live solely off Mother Nature. That is the power of the sun. It is a mighty weapon of warfare in pulling down stronghold. And the thing is that when one person speaks, they can kill or imprison you. But with the mighty sun, they cannot imprison, kill, or do nothing to the sun. So even the elites are in fear of what the sun can do. And before I go any further, I am going to read something. I'm going to show you a little excerpt written by NASA as it relates to the total solar eclipse on April 8th. And will the sun be in a period of solar maximum and what it means? NASA said that the total solar eclipse on April 8th is occurring during the period of solar maximum, which increases the possibility of solar eruption. A total solar eclipse is a phenomenal celestial event that will occur on Monday, April 8th, as the moon will entirely obscure the sun, unlike a partial solar eclipse. during which only a portion of the sun is obscured. Meanwhile, NASA shared a video on Friday explaining that this eclipse occurs during the solar maximum period, which increased the possibility of a solar eruption. So you see what I'm telling you, people? What does a solar eclipse has to do with solar eruption? Because as I'm trying to show you, there is something else taking place behind this alignment which the physical eyes cannot see. And this is what I have seen with the spiritual eye when it is activated. And this is the revelation that I am showing you guys. Solar activity has reportedly surged significantly in the past 2 months. Immense sunspots, frequent X-class solar flares, the most potent type of solar explosion, and a towering plasma plumes have been observed. During the April 8th total solar eclipse, our sun will be in a period of high activity known as solar maximum. We might even see a solar eruption during the eclipse, NASA Sun and Space said in an X post. According to a Live Science report, solar activity has surged significantly in the past 2 months. Additionally, on March 23rd, Earth encountered its most substantial geomagnetic storm in over 6 years when a massive cloud of plasma and radiation termed as a coronal mass ejection, CME, collided with the Earth or with the planet. So let me go over here again in the book and show you that. Give me a second, let me adjust the brightness so you can see more clearly. All right, here we go again. I then saw the source as a lion, sitting on its 2 back feet along with its tail at its right side. And here is the depiction, the Egyptian depiction of the lion sitting on its 2 back feet with its tail at its right side. And above the Pharaoh Akhenaten, you can see the Aten, the sun disk, which is the source or the physical sun, sending down its energy or light frequencies to this being here. So over here we can see the lamb. Immediately after seeing the source as a lion, I began seeing the inner sun as a lamb. The source, seeing the light rays like hairs of lightning. I beheld the source having dreadlocks, realizing that the Messiah would come from the Rastafarian culture. Although not necessarily a Rasta, but like the flower which came up from the ground unsoiled. Likewise, the Messiah will come from this culture or way of life. Right away, even before I decided to grow my hair, I realized that the Messiah has dreadlocks. The hair of the source is immensely powerful and very long. The light of the source are very long dreadlocks. I saw the source as a divine black being with long dreadlocks. The light of the inner sun are also dreadlocks, but are much shorter in comparison to that of the source. The simple but complex energy of the source, the lion, felt harder to comprehend and felt more turbulent than the meek energy of the inner sun, the lamb. As I drank some corn soup for dinner, I felt when the vibratory rate of my physical body slowed down and began vibrating at the normal speed. But as soon as it approached night and the food was almost finished digesting, my vibrational frequency increased a little, causing me to gain full access into the spiritual realm for further guidance. While activating and penetrating into the higher realms, I could see this, the sun with a solar eruption. And then the inner voice whispered this. Let me go on here to show you something else. From a book that I've read over the years. And just give me a second. It is called The Perfect Matrimony by Samuel Unwar. Let me find the page that I want to show you something as it regards to the eruption of the sun and as it relates to the solar plexus. Just give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust. Just give me a second. Okay, all right, you can see it better now. The Aztec chalk mole, great master of a serpentine civilization. And I quote, "In this position, the aspirant imagines that the energy of the sun enters through the solar plexus, making it vibrate and rotate from left to right, like the hands of a clock when we look at it from the front. This exercise can be done 1 hour daily. The basic mantra of this magnetic center is the vowel U. This vowel can be vocalized by elongating in this way. U. A well-awakened solar plexus animates marvelously all the chakras of the organism. Thus, we prepare ourselves for initiation." Chalk mole was venerated in Serpentine, Mexico. And it is further stated that authentic initiation was received in the great mystery temples of the Serpentine civilizations. Only Serpentine civilizations are true civilizations. So in order to hear this mantra, which is symbolized by the vowel U, we have to awaken the Serpentine energy, raises up the 33 vertebrae of the spinal column up to the crown chakra. And here again you can see it. You can see the vowel U. And here in my book, which was written years before I've read this book, because I've read The Perfect Matrimony in January 26, 2022. And this book was written, I started having these out-of-body spiritual experiences in 2013 up to 2015. And here I've found bits of information in other books when I read for entertainment and educational purposes. So the following day after witnessing all these things about the sun, I've seen another vision the following day, which I saw a quick flash of the source and the inner sun and the physical sun in perfect alignment as one. Without hesitation, I drew it in the book. So here we can see the physical sun, the inner sun, and the source in perfect alignment, which is an eclipse. Is another word for the eclipse, the alignment. So when this alignment takes place, a portal a portal, a gateway is opened so that the energy from the source and the inner sun can be sent to the physical sun and onto the earth. So that was what I wanted to share with you guys. Now that I've shared that with you, I will upload other videos as it relates to these things. So thank you for listening and see you next time. Peace out.